Hi there. Are you somebody who's wondering what's the best response I can give somebody when they call me fat or they tell me, hey, it looks like you've been putting on some weight? Well, if so, friend, then this video is for you. Hi there. My name is Morgan Risden, and I'm the creator of Center Studio, where I teach people skills to feel more comfortable more often. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Also that notification bell, that way anytime I make a video like this, you'll be sure to know about it. And it also helps me grow my YouTube channel so I can reach more people just like you. Now, today's video was inspired by a very close adolescent who's very dear to my heart, and she was talking to me about some of the ridiculous things that people say, really her friends in school. She said, yeah, people call me fat, they'll talk about my flat chest, they'll talk about my acne. And first of all, when I got over the shock of this, friends, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Who are these a-holes that are talking to you about your appearance like this? When I got over that initial shock, it occurred to me, wait a minute, it doesn't stop when we graduate from high school, right? Comments and insults like this, friends, happen throughout our life at different times from different people, and it is inevitable. And so my question to you is I want you to ask yourself, what happens when somebody insults me in this manner? And what I mean by that is physiologically. Okay, do you start to sweat? Do you feel your face start to get flushed? Do you feel like your palms get a little clammy? Like what part of your body shifts and how do you start changing? Does your neck tighten? Do your fingers start to clasp? Do you feel your gut start to sort of clench up and your belly starts to get kind of strange, right? Like what happens in those moments? Okay, and oftentimes your body is tightening, right? We have this stress response, that fight or flight response, and that is going to dictate how you respond to hearing something like this, okay? So somebody delivers an insult, you have a feeling about it, that feeling turns into a physiological response from your body. Now, what if, my friend, we could interrupt that, okay? Now, what I'm going to suggest is that you cannot take away the pain that somebody delivers when they shoot that dagger into your heart with an inappropriate, rude, unthoughtful comment. Okay, that's just to be alive is to experience somebody being rude at some point in your life and saying something that you don't want to hear. Now, with that in mind, the suffering that usually happens after that, that's what I'm suggesting we remove. Okay, and by suffering, I mean how we start to go up into our head, we start to question ourselves, we start to feel bad about ourselves, we start to wonder if they're right, why would they say that if not? Or maybe you even start to think like, who is this person who I trusted who just said something so rude and inappropriate, right? So I'm talking about that sort of suffering, okay? That's what we can start to change. And I'm gonna suggest we do that by having a plan in place. Now, what I mean by having a plan, friend, is that you will come up with some options readily available in how you can respond to somebody who says something inappropriate to you, okay? Somebody says, why are you getting so fat, right? Or something of that nature. Then you could try, number one, responding with a question. This is my personal favorite, throwing back a question, why do you say that? Or what moves you to say that? Or do you find that appropriate to say to me? Right? Some sort of question that hopefully gets the other party thinking about how their words have impacted you and if that's actually really what they meant. 9 out of 10 times, friend, when I ask somebody, what do you mean by that? That simple question alone, what did you mean by that, usually stops people in their track and kind of pulls them back to be like, why did I say that? What was I hoping for? What kind of response did I want from that individual? And when you interrupt that, then usually, sometimes they can come back with something that says, oh, I didn't really mean it that way, right? Sometimes they'll come back and say, oh, well, what I meant is I know you've been having thyroid problems. I've been really worried about you. You were stressed about the job. And now maybe it's a different dialogue completely, okay? Possibly, who knows, okay? Number two, the second thing you could try is you could try to make a statement. Please don't talk to me like that. Or I don't appreciate the way you're talking to me. Right? A statement that essentially sets up some boundaries for how people can expect to be able to talk to you. Okay, ooh, Morgan, she doesn't like to be talked to that way. I don't appreciate that. Right? It lets people know where you stand and sort of draws a line in the sand about what people can say to you and how you're going to respond to it. So it sort of shuts the door on any further communication like that. And it's really a clear way of letting people know, I don't appreciate how you're speaking to me, right? The third one, also another personal favorite of mine, is humor, okay? And not because I think I'm funny, okay? Humor because it really does lighten people up. I mean, we just know that when you use humor, your body comes a little bit down from the stress and you start to relax a little bit. Humor is a wonderful way to get people loosened up, okay? So what I might say is, why do you worry so much about my weight? Like, you can eat all the ice cream you want. Don't need to worry about me, right? So you can throw humor in places where maybe you don't want to be as assertive and maybe you just want to let them know, like, that's not appropriate. Like, good thing you don't have to worry about it because your jeans look great on you. Whatever it is, have something in mind ahead of time so that in those situations that inevitably are going to occur, okay? Inevitably, somebody is going to say something rude or unthoughtful. And when they say that, be prepared to reach in your pocket and pull out either a question, a statement of truth for you, or humor. These different things are going to be things that you can readily and easily throw back at somebody so that they know how you feel about whatever it is that they said, either in the form of a question, the form of a statement, or in that humorous approach to let them know, like, that's none of your business. I don't know why you're so worried about that, okay? And by having something you can actually practice, the more you're going to recognize, like, oh, this isn't my problem. And what I mean by that is usually when people are triggering us with insults, it's not about us. I mean, I think you probably know that, but I just think it just warrants being said, okay? Usually when people are rude and say things that are hurtful, either unconsciously, right? Like they're clueless, they have no idea, they're just not with thought, or if it's conscious, if it's like, no, that's a troublemaker, like that person likes to stir the pot, they like to create drama. If you know that this is happening from them, it's not really about you, right? It's not really about whether or not you put on a pound or two or whatever insults they're throwing at you. It's not about that. And by keeping yourself in a state where you're hopefully a little less triggered and less startled or stressed out by this comment that they're throwing at you, the better you're able to decide how you want to respond to them. What's appropriate? Practice having something in place that you know you can try in the moment. I think the more we practice these kinds of things, being assertive, asking questions from what people mean, and just really in general taking better care of ourselves and the way that people interact with us, the better we feel about ourselves, okay? So I'm going to encourage you to have some kinds of comments that you're going to have in your back pocket ready to go next time somebody triggers you. And if you haven't already, friend, of course, be sure to subscribe. If you like the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, and then I'll see you next time. All right, until then, take care, friend. Ciao.